Hi, welcome back to our channel. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Echo, and we are Recon Reality.
Let's organize this chaos. So for our first adventure, we'll be organizing the chaos of the Storm Area 51 They Can't Stop Us All Facebook event, posted July 5th, 2019.
So when we first heard about this, tons of people had already signed up to go. I was so freaking excited. I was like, no way, this is not gonna happen. So I was like, Sarah, we gotta go to this thing. How can we not go?
So as soon as we saw the event, we started doing a ton of research online about the event itself, as well as Alamo and Rachel, the two towns outside of the gates of Area 51.
As I started looking online, it was really hard to get detailed information, but then more and more started flooding in each day. So as I was looking, I honestly thought that there was a Holiday Inn hotel pretty close out there. So we had our flights booked and we were looking for a room. And we didn't quite know how much time we wanted to stay out there just to check things out, to recon, to know what to do for the actual event in September.
So we decided to fly into the Las Vegas airport and stay there for the weekend, and then rent a truck and go recon the area around the event.
We decided to do the recon only for one day because we had no idea how much was actually in store for us. So I had originally booked the hotel for just a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but then they gave me an additional deal if I got Thursday night too.
So we flew into the Las Vegas airport around 10:30 p.m. on Thursday evening after a long day at work at our real jobs.
Because we actually have real jobs.
And from there we Ubered to the hotel that we were staying at and prepared for an early morning on Friday.
On Friday morning, we woke up and we went and got our rental car. We got a truck just because we didn't know how rough the train was, but we had heard it could be pretty bad at times. So we decided to get four-wheel drive and we started pulling out of the city. We ended up going into the desert and it was really pretty scenery actually. It was just totally different than where we're from.
Yeah, and we had about an hour and a half drive up north to actually reach Alamo. So once we pulled into the town, it was pretty small. We just drove up and down the streets to check it out and see what was available.
There wasn't that much available, honestly. I think there were a total of 3 businesses, 1 restaurant, and 1 gas station. We saw the volunteer fire department and a few sheriff's cars, but didn't actually see where the sheriff's station was.
Yeah, so once we were done with Alamo and we continued to head up north, reached the turnoff for the extraterrestrial highway.
Roughly, yeah, about maybe 30, 45.
Yeah, and so that's where we saw the actual sign with, of course, all the stickers. We had to get out and take a couple pictures ourselves.
Of course.
And then from there we started heading west over to the Alien Research Center.
So whenever we saw the Alien Research Center, it's a dome-shaped building. You can find pictures online with a massive alien right outside front of it, so you can't miss it. There was a lot of open land around it. We're not exactly for sure who owns it, if it's the Alien Research business owners or if it's like state property or public land, but we were just kind of thinking to ourselves, where exactly are all these campers going to be staying? So we went inside and
yeah, we found, all the usual stuff you'd expect. There was a ton of alien themed t-shirts, bumper stickers, anything you can imagine.
Didn't really see beverages other than alien tequila. So there's gonna be a lot of that floating around, I do believe, at this event.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also heard recently that they're calling it Alien Woodstock versus Storm Area 51. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure the drinks are going to be flowing pretty heavy. There was nothing there when we were there set up yet. And this was the 3rd weekend of July, by the way, just to let you guys know.
Yeah, so less than 2 months from the start of the actual event itself.
And I know that they're working just based on things that are going around in the news and on the internet. They're working on getting vendors out there so that there's food and beverage options. They're trying to get, porta-johns and dumpsters and all these things because there's none of that out there right now. You have to make sure that you have with you what you need to be able to sustain. So once we left the Alien Research Center, we started driving more west towards Rachel. and there was nothing in between. From the Alien Research Center all the way to Rachel.
Yeah, there were open ranges, an assortment of cows that we ran across. But no, so we kept going west, and we went over the hill, and in the distance, over to the left, we saw a cluster of little buildings, and we even said to each other,
like, oh my god,
can't be it.
Is that it? Like,
so
is that it?
We saw the sign, for Rachel, Nevada, and when we pulled up, it was just a little cluster of small houses, a closed down gas station, and of course the little alien.
So we decided to drive around just a little bit like we did in Alamo, but it was kind of hard to really tell like what was a road and what was somebody's driveway or front yard. Things aren't thoroughly and properly displayed. So we went to the alien, and when we got outside, we were taking some pictures, and we met a few other tourists like ourselves, and we ran into these two other women like us, just out there to check everything out and see what's going on. And then we met a local.
Yeah, so once we met that local, she let us know that she was on her way out to the gate. So we all got in our trucks and headed out about 5.5 miles away down a dirt road to actually check out the gate.
Not entirely dirt, but a dirt road is a pretty accurate way to put it. It
had
some gravel,
yeah.
But also there was a storm coming in that day, and for this area you need to realize that once it starts raining, it could not stop, and there is massive flash flooding. So
we learned that Rachel has a monsoon season, and we were apparently in it.
We were, and so with rain coming in, I got a little worried for a bit, but it died down. And even though it was only 5.5 miles to the gate, it literally took us about 10-15 full minutes to actually get to it. So we're driving out there, there's still nothing, and just go around this curve.
And then we saw the actual gate, and
there it is.
A couple of guard shacks, and of course the signs posting "Do not trespass." There were a couple other tourists out there just taking pictures and checking out the area, but aside from that, nothing else.
Nothing at all. And then a lot of people are saying you can't tell where the line is. At this particular gate right outside of Rachel, where a lot of the people are going to be for a part of this event anyway, you can clearly tell. So don't be afraid of that. It's not like you're gonna cross an invisible line as long as you stay near the road and you're not going, like a mile out that way off the road or a mile out that way off the road. There's an area there, and it's pretty common for a lot of people to congregate, and just don't go past the sign that says stop, and you're not gonna get shot.
Yeah, so after we took our photos and spent some time out at the gate, we ended up going back to the local's house and just got a little bit more information about the town and the event, and all in all spent about 3 or 4 hours with her, just kind of getting a feel for the town and what was going to be available out there.
Not everyone is thoroughly excited about this event because they are so small, and they are truly worried for the event goers' safety. There's going to be no credit card machines, not enough cell phone tower service, barely any internet, if any at all. There's nothing out there. There's not going to be enough help, and they really are truly concerned about all of that.
Yeah, and keep in mind the only public space really in Rachel and the only business is the little alien. So as far as any kind of public shelter or facilities, there really are none out there.
There's nothing out there. No. Just the few residential homes, a couple of mailboxes, and the alien.
So after going around town and checking out the gate, we went back to the little alien. And once we went inside, there was a very small dining area, and then they have a little corner of items you can buy, merchandise, up by the counter. But aside from that, that's really it. The actual hotel portion are individual trailers set up behind the actual dining area. So in total, there are 12. But aside from that, that's really all that's available.
We spent some time there. We didn't eat just with the heat and everything like that. We weren't feeling it. So we decided that we were going to go ahead and head back to Las Vegas because that's where our room was and everything. We were getting really tired after a long day of just exploring and reconning. So we started heading back, and as we were pulling out of Rachel, it was a really surreal experience. It was very surreal, and we weren't ready for it. We didn't realize that there was truly nothing. Right. You can hear it being said over and over and over again on the internet, but until you're actually there, it's pretty wild.
So as we were pulling out of Rachel and heading back up to Vegas, that's when it kind of hit us that after all of the hours of research and planning that we put into our trip, we were completely shocked by what we found out there. And so we started kind of going over, all of the different variables and just the mass amount of people that are set to go out there in September, and realized that nobody's really talking about these issues. I mean, as far as the actual support and safety concerns of all of these people going out to such a tiny little town.
Also, environmental elements.
Yeah, I know.
There's not enough dumpsters or porta-johns or anything like that. It's gonna get pretty trashed pretty quickly.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and not to mention the wildlife and the temperatures in the desert. So as we kind of started going over all of the information that we had learned and thinking about how little was out there, it kind of started to click.
We gotta put this out there because you gotta remember this was the third weekend of July, and it is now this is technically the second weekend of August, and there's more information coming out every week about this, but 3 weeks ago, you wouldn't have known any of that because it just wasn't, not that it wasn't getting enough attention, it just wasn't getting enough facts of what the actual situation is going to be. So you can find plenty more now, but that's why we decided to make Recon reality, and that's when the dream was born.
So we've attended other events in the past that were underprepared and have gotten out of hand pretty quickly, but nothing like what we expect this one's going to be.
So guess what, guys? Next weekend, we're going back. Now that we have a vision and a dream and we know all the things that we actually want to show you before you end up out there, if you are going, then please follow us and stay tuned because we're going to have so much more footage. We're going to have so much more to share. I know that we're really new to YouTube and this isn't going perfectly smooth right now, but we're doing our best, alright?
So be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for our latest updates, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications of our next video from Area 51.
We're going to Area 51. We're going to Area 51. Say it with me.
We're going to Area 51!